Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. You know, before I even hit the record button, I was sitting there wondering, what was the point of Constantine losing that card if he was just going to find it back so conveniently, right? Because we all know that Thomas took the card, he thought it was cool and everything like that. He's playing with his dad in this episode and eventually with Stephanie. And when they go back to the house, Chad's like, is it something you want to sit there and say to Constantine? And he talks about, hey, listen, was you in his room? You was in his room. Did you take anything? And Thomas lies, right? But Constantine just sits there and looks at him like, yeah, something ain't right about that. Now, Chad is like, fine, whatever, I believe you. And he goes to get some sort of permission slip. Constantine's like, all right, so we're going to try this again. Because I don't think you sent to Thomas. And I don't think you want your dad to know that you're lying. So I'll tell you what, give me the card. We'll pretend this whole thing never happened. Because Thomas he already has this look on his face that he just looked guilty as hell. Right? So he gives back the card, and Constantine has it. But I'm just like, then what was the point? It's like, that's why I just get right back to it. I was like, what was the point of them losing the card? Like, what? Maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and he just gets it right back because Thomas just looks guilty as hell. I mean, like, his face just looks like he's just lying. Um, so yeah, Chad was at the pub or whatever, trying to learn how to play Thomas game, and Stephanie comes in, and she's hanging out and just misses seeing Thomas and everything like that. They're not getting back together. It was foolish for them to get together in the first place, so that ain't happening. And if it does, then it's just stupid. But they're talking, catching up, and eventually Everett comes in. Now, Everett was talking to Rafe, and Rafe was acting like, here's the thing about relationships and how they end usually. There's always three sides to a story. There's his, hers, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. But of course, he just takes her side, and he's all like, first of all, Everett came there on business. He wants to know what was going on, so this way he could sit there and write a story. And Rafe was like, well, listen, you can leave or whatever. So he's like, yeah, you're a liar. You treated Jada badly. This, that, and the third. I was like, you don't even know the whole story. Was you there? No. So why are we just sitting there? I'm not saying don't take her side, but I'm just saying like there's always two sides to a story. On top of that, he's like, I think he said something along the lines of, you're abusing your power. You're pretty much denying the press access to information and stuff. He's like, no, you can leave. They'll send somebody else or whatever. You lied, you cheated, this, that, and the third. I'm like, you don't even know the whole story. You coming across looking hella stupid at this point. So I really just had enough. He was like, you know what? Listen, fine. And he leaves. He runs into Stephanie. Um, they talk a little bit. Well, they talk about the therapy, which he just straight up lied as far as being hypnotized. He talks about the papers, and he's like, well, I really don't want to sign it because if I sign it, then it's what? But of course, Marlena and John came in, interrupted them, and everyone's like, I need you to come to the house. I need you to come to the hotel because apparently everyone lives in hotels now. Um, so she goes with him, and he has the divorce papers, and he signs it, and she's all smiling and everything like that. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to sit there and think at this point. I really don't. The guy is definitely sus, but I know that Jada's still gonna. I mean, at this point, Jada should not have a problem. At this point, she should not have a problem. You got your raw papers. You got your papers. You're free. Whatever that Stephanie decides to do, it's not your damn business. And if you don't want to be a friend because of it, that's on you. But you got your freedom. You're moving in, and by the way, she did want up moving in. She said yes to her moving in with Rafe. She didn't want to move in before because she had a bunch of bad relationships. I get that. And she was going to talk about men. Well, she didn't say all men, so I was like, alright, fine. But she had a bad history, and then it got her kind of jaded about relationships. But she does agree to move in and everything. She also said she was going to stop trying to pressure him into signing those papers. She's like, you know what? Listen, this ain't working. We gotta sit there and figure this. We gotta figure out another way to do this. And me constantly getting in this guy's face and yelling and screaming and acting pretty much like a damn Karen isn't working. Um, and turns out he signed the papers, so there you go. Now Constantine, well, Maggie and Constantine were talking. Maggie asked Constantine about his marriage, and he was like, it was. I married her, we had a kid, it didn't work out, she divorced me. He really didn't seem like he wanted to really talk about it. She was like, alright, fine. But he wanted to give her a wedding ring of his mother's. And she was like, I can't do that. He was like, alright, fine. How about you just sit there and just wear it around my neck? I mean, wear it around your neck. She's like, okay, fine. I'm like, what's the difference? If it's around your neck or if it's on your finger, it's still on your body. I don't really. Okay, sure, whatever. I didn't understand that. I mean, I get the. No, actually, I don't get that. That's no, because that's the same problem that I had on Bold and the Beautiful with Thomas and Hope. You know, Hope rejected Thomas' proposal, and he was like, "All right, cool. Why don't you just wear it around my neck?" And she was like, "All right, fine." I'm like, it's the same damn thing. Like, okay. Anyway, she agrees to wear it around her neck, and she still don't give a damn what anyone has to say. So, like, bro, when he sit there and take you for half of your money and half of your company, don't sit there and say nobody wants you, because pretty much Danielle, almost everyone in town, including your daughter, was kind of sus on him. Now, John and Marlena are again watching Jude. John talks a little bit about his guilt that he's still having. Of course, he wakes baby. So they also talked about Eric and his money troubles. It's like, no, listen, we can help him out or whatever. Marlena was like, no, we could sit there and spread the word. His photography business hopefully will pick up, and we'll sit there and tell him how proud we are of him. I'm like, but he wanted to have this child, yet he doesn't have the funds to sit there and raise his child. So what exactly are we proud of? I'm confused. I'm generally confused. Um. Anyway, they want to go into the Brady pub, and the baby starts crying. So he goes out there, he rocks the baby, and I guess talking about taking him to his first baseball game kind of made him realize he needs to sit there and drop the guilt and for stuff that he couldn't do, he couldn't control. You know. So maybe he finally dropped the guilt for a little bit into like maybe a couple episodes, and he'll sit there and start being guilty all over again. I feel like that's going to be the pattern. That's just me, but I feel like that's going to be the pattern. Yes, Constantine has the pawn card again. What he's going to sit there and do with John, who knows? But it should be interesting, I guess, depending on how they write it. I mean, I don't know what he wants to do. I have an idea. I think he wants John to sit there and take out Marlena, but I'm like, you could have did that a while ago. What are we doing at this point? Why are you waiting? He also talked a little bit about Paulina, Chanel, and if there's going to be any sort of long side effects to her exposing pretty much everyone there to radiation. Um, if EJ finds out, he's going to be pissed. He's going to be pissed that his son got exposed. So that should be something. Of course, Paulina's not exactly too happy with his performance out there and the way he handled the whole Tate thing as far as the apology. So you know, there's that. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I might have missed one or two things, so you know, I always sit there and say, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.